Hi, everybody. This is Saad. Today, I wanted to spend a few minutes discussing Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter using the framework of costly signaling, or what's called also the handicap principle, or honest signaling. You have to read this book, also called Zahavian signaling. Okay? And the idea basically is I discussed this, by the way, in the Parasitic Mind. I talk about costly signaling versus virtue signaling. So let me again give you the background and the reason why here you've got the peacock's tails, because it is a beautiful example of this kind of costly signaling. The idea behind costly signaling is that for a trait to evolve that doesn't confer survival advantage, such as, for example, the peacock's tail could not have evolved through the mechanism of natural selection linked to survivability, precisely because that burdensome tail reduces your survivability. And so it evolves through sexual selection, meaning it confers a reproductive advantage. But specifically, what it is communicating is that despite the fact that I have this big burdensome tail that reduces my survivability, I'm here standing. And therefore, it's an honest signal of my phenotypic quality. And it is an honest signal precisely because it is handicapping me. And so, again, if you see here the handicap principle or Zahavian signaling, the reason why it's called also Zahavian signaling is because Zahavi was a Israeli ornithologist who studied costly signaling via the Arabian babbler, which is a type of bird that engages in costly signaling via some altruistic acts. Now, I take this principle, and in my first book, my 2007 book, The Evolutionary Basis of Consumption, and then subsequently in my 2011 book, The Consuming Instinct, I demonstrate how costly signaling can be found in all sorts of areas related to consumer behavior, if not in other areas of human behavior. So, for example, the fact that the uppers don't drive typically very fancy cars can very much be linked to the handicap principle. Why? Because if I'm a billionaire, I don't need to be driving a $300,000 car to demonstrate my social status, because everybody who's in my club, meaning the billionaire club, can easily meet that signal. So it's not going to be an honest signal of my social status. But if I, for example, pay $150 million on a painting that a 3-day old pigeon could have painted, then I am engaging in wasteful consumption. And by engaging in this wasteful consumption, I am then demonstrating that I certainly have a lot of money to burn. And I use this mechanism to explain, for example, why rappers in rap videos will always be shown getting rid of money everywhere, right? Because I'm so wealthy that I can get rid of wads of cash without a care in the world. And there are all sorts of other contexts where costly signaling is very, very powerful way to explain something. For example, I argue in the 2007 book that philanthropy is a costly signal. So oftentimes you will give tons of money precisely because your competitors couldn't match your philanthropic gesture. So costly signaling, the handicap principle, honest signaling, Zahavian signaling, these are incredibly powerful mechanisms to explain all sorts of consumer related phenomena, but phenomena in general. So I'll give you one other example. The Ngol ritual in Vanuatu is a ritual whereby it's a rite of passage for young men, whereby to demonstrate their courage, their bravery, you tie them up with vine ropes off a very, very high platform, and then they jump off head first, and then hopefully the thing snaps before your brain explodes on the ground. Now, why is that a costly signal? Because it takes real courage to be able to pull that off. First of all, you have to make sure that those vine ropes are elastic enough to withstand your individual weight. And as you might imagine, if all you needed to do was do 10 push-ups in order to get the attention of the beautiful girls in your tribe, then every male could meet that, that rite of passage. But if you need to jump off an 80-foot platform head first, tied to some vine ropes, well, that's an honest signal of your bravery. So again, incredibly powerful mechanism. I highly recommend that you check them out. As I said, forgive the shameless plug, is these books that I wrote in 2007 and 2011. And again, go back and check this book right here on the Zahavi signaling. Okay, so now how am I going to link all this to Elon Musk? Well, Elon Musk, in my view, has engaged in costly signaling by buying Twitter, because by all standards, it seemed like he overpaid for Twitter. And certainly from the perspective of being a billionaire who's already very busy, he doesn't have to be wasting his time engaging in the purchase of Twitter, but he wants to have skin in the game. One of the ways that you demonstrate that you have skin in the game is precisely by engaging in a costly act. Now, costly doesn't just mean the fact that he burned through $44 billion. It's costly to his time. It involves an honest signal of his commitment to freedom of speech, in that he is wasting tons of money, overpaying undoubtedly what he should have paid for Twitter. But boy, it's an honest signal of his commitment. So only someone who is as wealthy and as powerful as Elon Musk could engage in this kind of purchase. And so this is how you would apply costly signaling or Zahavian signaling, or the handicap principle. He's literally handicapping himself to the tune of $44 billion. He's losing tons of advertisers, but he doesn't care. He forges forward. And I suspect that eventually he will turn Twitter into a profitable investment. But even if he didn't, he would still have succeeded from a costly signaling perspective. By the way, I forgot to mention that one of the cool examples of costly signaling, at least that's one possible explanation, there's something called stotting, whereby if you see a predator, you're a gazelle, and you see a predator, rather than run away or hide or freeze so that the predator doesn't see you, you start jumping up in the air, becoming quite conspicuous in your visibility, and that, the argument is a costly signal to the predator, because the predator is saying, well, if this prey is engaging in such risky behavior, then it's probably too fit for me to go after it. The fact that it engages in this, if you like, wasteful signal, wasteful in this case, in that you're making yourself more visible to a predator, that they might decide to hone in on you. But the signal that's being communicated, don't waste your time with me, don't come after me. Only those who are in such superb shape as I am would engage in this risky behavior. That's exactly, if one wants to take an evolutionary angle to the Elon Musk purchase, that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, I don't need to put up a flag of Ukraine or a BLM thing, or hashtag BLM. Those are virtue signaling. Exactly what I discuss in the Parasitic Mind. People who engage in virtue signaling, by definition, are cowardly schmucks, because for a signal to be valuable, it has to be costly. When you speak your mind in a place where you can get the death penalty for speaking your mind, that's a lot more impressive and a much greater costly and honest signal. You're handicapping your life in order to speak your mind, than it is to put hashtag science must fall or hashtag trans women are women. That doesn't take much courage. Okay, so there you have it. Elon Musk, I should also mention, by him purchasing Twitter, I am willing to bet that when we look back at all of his achievements, and there have been many entrepreneurial achievements in his career, none will be as important as his purchase of Twitter, because the extent to which he has ushered some needed balance in the discourse, the allowable discourse in the public platform, couldn't have come any sooner. So there you have it, folks. That's the power of evolutionary theory, is that we could take all sorts of interesting phenomena, behavioral phenomena, and try to understand the ultimate explanation or the ultimate root of where that phenomenon comes from. So there you have it, folks. Thank you, Elon Musk, for demonstrating the power of evolutionary theorizing when it comes to human behavior. Take care, everybody. Ciao.